students, I am Ishan Trivedi. Welcome you in the video lecture series. Today I am going to discuss about slums. In this session, I am going to cover slum and its introduction, causes of slum, characteristics of slum, effect of slum, slum clearance or its improvement techniques, and at last prevention of slum. If I am talking about a slum, and it is a predominantly an overcrowded area where dwellings are unfit for human habitation. It is an area where the basic amenities like water supply, drainage for standards of living are lacking, insanitary conditions prevail, and disease flourish. It is a poverty-stricken area where the high rates of birth, infant mortality, illegitimacy, juvenile crime, delinquency, and death, thus it representing the state of hell on the surface of earth. Slum is a menace to health, safety, mortality, and general welfare of the inhabitants. Slums are very common to India. It is estimated that about 20% of total population of a city in India live under subhuman condition of slum. Next is causes of slum. First is rapid industrialization. Industrial growth and employment opportunities in the towns and cities have acted as a powerful magnet to attract the rural population. As I said, it is a pull towards a city or a town. The workers employed in the factories generally make their habitation as nearer as possible to the place of work, and thus in a short time the available land or open space is occupied by the buildings without any prior planning, and this gives the rise to formation of slum. Next is population growth. There is a lag between the growth of population and the construction of houses, and these shortage ultimately manifest themselves in the creating slums. Third is lack of zoning. If the town is not divided into suitable zones and the development is allowed to take place in a haphazard manner, then slum may be created. Next is decentralization. When the city is developed, the higher income group and the middle class group move away from the city, or you can say extended part of the town, and thus the poor people are left unattended in the overcrowded area or overcrowded part of the town, which is central or near to the center part of the town. And ultimately this decentralized approach and moving of the richer and the higher income group and the middle income group towards outside the town results into slum. Next is poverty. If I'm talking about one of the main reason of formation of slum, then it is poverty. For laborers and poor people, it is difficult to pay heavy rent for the decent living, and they are forced to live in such conditions. Even people are living over the drain, and drain is passing just below their flooring, and therefore they move in slum areas because they do not have the rent paying capacity. Next is education. If the inhabitants are lacking in the education, they may be easily dragged into social evils without any attention to the improvement of living condition. And without education, they are one of the most vulnerable people by minds, and they dragged into certain activities which are not acceptable in city life. Next is repair and maintenance. If cheap houses constructed by the landowner for the purpose of collecting rents and are not properly maintained it, then these houses remain in the state of decay and to favor the formation of slums. Next is power of local authority. See, local authority is one of the major influence. Sometimes they are intent to people live in such conditions. If the local authority concerned does not possess adequate powers to control the development of town, the slum may form. So these are the causes of slum. Next is characteristics of slum. First is appearance. You can see here, it is one of the universal remark of a slum. It is unpleasant and offend the eyes, nose and conscience. The structures appear to be deteriorated and to be of over age. Second is fire hazards. See, you have heard in many news channels and these are the consequences of a slum formation. These are the places of fire damage and fire accidents. Even one stick of matches may prove to be sufficient to reduce the whole slum to the ashes in no time. Third is health and sanitation. The slum is characterized by the low standards of sanitation. It also refers an area of high sickness and death rates. Next is income criteria. The slum is a poverty-stricken area and it is occupied by the people of the lowest income group of the society. Next is overcrowding. The slum is overcrowded by the building or the buildings are overcrowded with the people or both condition prevails in the slum. Next is morals. The socially disorganized slum may prove to be an area of delinquency, crime and vice. Next is social isolation. The slum area is one of the lowest social status and it is usually linked up with the rest of the community through its labor force. So these are the characteristics of slums. Now understand the effects of slum. First is health. The environment is not healthy and the people residing in the slums are easily affected by the various diseases. Then lack of amenities. Adequate public facilities like water supply, drainage, sanitation, electricity do not exist. Surrounding locality. The location of institutions like school, hospital, library nearby the slums would affect their working. Then working conditions. The area being full of noise, traffic congestion, smoke, darkness and fumes is not possible to work peacefully in the slum. Next is undesirable look. The slum spoils the aesthetic look of the society. Then there is a complete absence of social and cultural life. And at last, there is no open space for recreation and fresh air. Till now, we have discussed about the effect, characteristics of slum, causes of slum. Now understand the slum clearance. It is the complete removal of slum area from the city. In this process, the slum dwellers are rehabilitated in the healthy and planned colonies. If I am talking about the objectives of slum clearance, the objectives are to improve the living standards of people who are living in the slum area, then to provide the essential amenities like clean drinking water, sanitation and clean surroundings and hygienic condition for healthy living, to prevent the spread of epidemic in the town, to bring down the social disparity among the various classes of people. While doing slum clearance, there are certain difficulties which are faced. These are lack of resources, high cost of alternative sites near to the place of work, unwillingness of slum dwellers to move from the slum area to new colonies because all those slum dwellers are doing their activities in that particular area, and even some of the cases they are doing household activities and earn the money. Then the slum clearance is lengthy and time consuming process of the acquisition of slum area, and at last they do not have the rent paying capacity. So these are the difficulties of slum clearance. Now understand the methods of slum clearance. There are two methods. First is improvement method and the second is complete removal method. Let us understand the first method, that is improvement method. This method is adopted where the slums are due to poor drainage system and unhealthy living conditions. Hence, the drainage arrangement is modified and improved. Public utility services like water, drainage and electricity may be provided in the slum area. And hence, the housing conditions are fairly good. Only a few houses need some improvement to make them more habitable. In low-lying area like ditches or swamp may be filled up and the existing roads may be widened. So certain improvements are done in terms of public utilities, in terms of house conditions and the connectivity of roads. Second is complete removal method. In this method, the slum area is completely cleaned out of the existing locality and all the structures are demolished. Only such buildings which are really in a good conditions are retained. Sometimes transit camps in the form of temporary buildings near to the slum area should be constructed to accommodate those dishoused people in the process of slum clearance. So these are the methods of slum clearance. Now, prevention of slum formation. First is cheap housing. Government should subsidize the cheap housing and made it available for the poor class of people so that they can have better accommodation. Then construction of buildings. Certain rules and regulations may be framed and strictly followed to restrict the coming up of buildings of subnormal standards. So you have to frame the bylaws in a such a way that you can restrict the growth of substandards or subnormal buildings, and people may have the natural agency so that the healthy conditions are provided to inmates. Then compulsion to employers. Large companies or the employers may be compelled to provide housing accommodation for their staff. Then rent restrictions. The Rent Restrictions Act is in force in many towns of our country. By restricting the increase of rent, the tenant will be protected. Then the maintenance and repairs. The responsibility of maintenance and repair of the building should be fixed and defined in the Housing Act. Then it becomes the duty of either landlord or the tenant to keep the existing building in a good living conditions. And at last, social education. Effective social education may help in the checking the growth of slum. The social education makes the slum dwellers conscious of the evils of the slums. So these are the key points for the prevention of slum formation. So I am ending this session here. I hope you have learned about slum, their causes, their effects, their methods, and prevention. Thanks for watching this video.